Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Chef Rob. Today we're going to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We're going to make a little twist on the Irish soda bread. We're going to do an Irish molasses raisin bread. It's a little darker, very flavorful, a lot of spice in there. And when it comes out of the oven, just take a little butter and put it on there, and it's so delicious. Either that or even a little bit of jam. So the first thing we want to do is start our oven to 350 degrees. And we're going to get our dry ingredients all ready to go. So we need 1 3/4 cups of flour. So I'm lucky I actually have a measuring cup that is 1 3/4 cups. So I am going to just spoon this right into here, just like this. You can buy these odd shaped measurements online. Okay, so let's just put that into about a medium-sized bowl. We're going to take 1 teaspoon of baking soda. You always want to check it to make sure that it is still good. Take a little bit of vinegar and just put a little vinegar on a teaspoon of it, and if it bubbles, it's still good. Need a little bit of salt, so 1/4 teaspoon of salt. The salt is just going to bring out the spice flavor. Want 1/2 teaspoon of the allspice. Just make it nice and level, just like that. And then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of the ground ginger. Put that in here. Have a spoon or a wire whisk. Just get all these ingredients mixed in really well. Then you want some very cold butter. Okay, so we're going to take 5 tablespoons of butter. And then we're just going to, the easiest way I find to do this, you can always cut it and just kind of crumble it up. But if you have it very cold, just unwrap this and take a box grater. And use this side of the grater. And then just kind of grate it right in here, just like that. Okay, it's really not even sticking to this. Okay. You always want to check the other side though. Just get that little bit right there off. And then if you can see inside here, there's a little bit in there. So just kind of take your hand and just drop everything in there, because you do want the 5 tablespoons of butter. So we're just going to take this and we just want to make it into like fine crumbs. Okay, so you're kind of rubbing the butter in with the flour mixture. And by doing it with the whisk, goes so quick, so simple. If you cut it with a knife and then you do it just like this, it'll take you about 4 or 5 minutes because the butter is very cold, and you do want it to be cold. Okay, so this is all done just like this. Okay, so now let's start on our wet ingredients. Okay, so our wet ingredients, we're going to take 3 tablespoons of molasses. It's a little trick. Just give this tablespoon just a little bit of spray, the non-cooking spray, and pour it right in here. And there's 1. And what that will do is, as you can see, it will not stick in there, and you will get the correct measurement. Works great with honey as well. And our 3rd tablespoon of molasses. Okay, just going to set this to the side. Now let's take 2 eggs. I'm actually just going to throw them right in the measuring cup. That way you don't have to dirty another dish. Put that in there. So 2 eggs. Just lightly beat them. Pour them right in here with the molasses. Now we want 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Make sure you buy the store buttermilk. Don't make your own, because there's nothing like the store buttermilk. It's just really nice and rich and thick. So I need 1/4 cup. So you can see the thickness in it. Okay. So that's going to go in with the eggs and the molasses. No need to stir it yet. And now we're going to take the brown sugar, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and you want to pack it. So you want to make sure it's nice and firmly packed. Okay, just like that. Put that right in here. Take a whisk. Just whisk this around really well. And now we're going to make a little bit of a well with the dry ingredients, and we're going to pour this in. Okay. So we're going to take our wet ingredients. Make sure you get everything. So use your spatula to really get all the good ingredients out. It's all really a lot of flavor in there. All those spices. And now we're just going to mix this around until there's no more flour. Don't overmix it though. Okay. And we're going to add the raisins in as well. The raisins we're going to add about 2/3 of a cup. And as soon as this really starts coming together, that's when I'll put the raisins in. We're going to spray our 9x5 loaf pan. It's going to take about 45 to 55 minutes. Always check it just a little bit earlier because everybody's oven or pan could be a different size, or the oven can just be a different temperature, okay, or cooks a little bit different. Okay, so it's a really nice thick batter. Now I'm going to take the raisins. So I want 2/3 of a cup of raisins. You could add the black raisins or the golden raisins. Either one would be fine. And now I'm just going to make sure, fold this really well. My oven is already preheated to 350. This is perfect on St. Patrick's Day for a little something different than the Irish soda bread. Check out my other recipes that I have. I have Irish soda bread muffins. And my Facebook page is simply Creative Chef Rob. So if you look on there, you'll see a lot of different recipes, baked goods, and dinners from years ago. Okay, so this is our batter right here. I'm going to take the pan. Now, take it from a distance and just give it a quick spray. You don't want to go into all the corners because otherwise it makes a little puddle and you'll taste the spray. You don't want that. Okay. So we're just going to take this batter, just drop this in here. Now if you're not able to smooth out the dough, you could just take the spatula, run it under just a little bit of water, okay, and then it will just make it really nice and smooth. Sometimes it's just you're able to kind of just move it just like this, and you don't need to wet the spatula. You want the batter to be even all across so that way it cooks really nice and even. Again, this take about 45 to 55 minutes, but maybe in about 30-35 minutes, just give it a check. Try a toothpick. If it comes out clean, it is done. And then we're going to let it rest for about 15 minutes. And then you put a little bit of butter on there, and it tastes so good. Okay, so this is the way it should look. I have a little batter on the side of my spatula, so what I do is put it on the side and then just kind of drop that in there. Don't want to miss any of this. Okay, so when you put this in the oven, take a sheet of aluminum foil, put it on that rack above just to protect it. Okay, so it doesn't get too dark. Okay, it's a dark bread, but we just don't want it too crusty. Okay, you don't want it to dry out. So we'll see you in about 45-55 minutes. So our Irish molasses bread took 45 minutes, and you can see it's so fresh. Okay, nice and soft, nice soft top. Okay, and that, by putting the aluminum foil in the oven on the rack above, really helped this to stay super moist. Always make sure you take a knife and just put it right through it, and if it comes out clean, it is done. Okay, so I hope you'll try it this year with your corned beef and cabbage. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Goodbye.